Hi folks, you're with Tacitus Today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio radio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about yet another supposed documentary or news item that demonizes and sets out to demonize the AFD in Germany. Now, this particular one, which is almost the same as others, they're using pretty much the same script, so it's obviously part of a centralised and scripted propaganda campaign for the sole purpose of demonising the AFD. Now, for those who don't know, AFD is a German political party. It's called Alternative for Germany, or Deutschland, Alternative for Germany, Alternative for Deutschland, and they're arguing for, or their policies include that the immigration system should be tightened up to require immigrants to speak decent German, so they can get around and work and so on. So decent German, and that they have recognised qualifications and skills that are needed and required within the German economy. Now, that's hardly radical. I mean, that's a long way from being radical. And the other is that if there are illegal aliens in Germany who've arrived with bogus asylum claims, then they should be repatriated at the expense of the German state. By the way, they should be repatriated to their country of origin, given a all expenses paid plane ticket to go back to wherever they came from. It could be Africa or, I don't know, Bangladesh or wherever it might be. So again, hardly radical, for goodness sake. So you've arrived illegally in this country, Germany. You've arrived illegally in this country. And you've made a fake asylum claim. You've broken so many laws, filing a false affidavit, or the list goes on. And you don't speak a word of German. You're illiterate in your own language. You've got no skills. You've got no qualification. You're going back to where you came from. So, and we'll pay for it for you to go back. So again, hardly radical, but the way the documentary attempts to portray this is to raise the standard of immigrant, the qualification bar for immigrant that would proportionally favour white people who come from other first world countries, thus white people, and that this is somehow racist or Nazi. Now, anyone who makes the grade can come in, so that's not what the AFD have said at all. They've made it nothing about race. If you meet this qualifying bar, then you're welcome to apply and to come in. But the argument they're making here is, well, that means that mostly white people, most brown and black people will not qualify. It is therefore racist. It is therefore fascist. It is therefore Nazi. It is therefore Hitler. So this is the sort of associative argument they make. For example, in America, if you require people to arrive on time for a meeting, then that is racist and far right, because that means you're disincluding black people that can't. So the argument goes, you're disincluding black people who can't make it on time, and therefore, because you're disincluding that, means you're fascist. Far right, it means you're Nazi. So they do this thing where if you're one, then you must be the other. Then if you're that, then you must be the next. And if you're that again, then you must be Hitler. So they play that, and they're doing it here with the AFD. They jump in. Well, 3 million people marched in protest against AFD. Hateful AFD Nazis. 3 million people. That just shows how much the population doesn't want these. So the 3 million people marching in protest, that means the state has to act. The government has to fucking do something to stop these fucking Nazis. So I'm sure that 3 million was grassroots and accurately reported. I don't think it was anywhere near 3 million. If it did, it would have all been paid public servants that were told, you want to keep your jobs, to get out in the street and walk around. But having a look at there's nothing they could point to suggest that the AFD was radical. They had to engage in A, assertion, and B, this incredible expansionism that again, if you want qualified people to come and work in Germany, you're not including blacks, which makes you Hitler. And so they play that game, but they couldn't produce anything. So that they were going, well, the party began and it was taken over by radical people who some have said are so closely associated with neo-Nazis. Who said that? Who made that association? What neo-Nazis? Where? When? Glossed over. Doesn't get. So they just keep on inserting far-right, neo-Nazi, far-right, Nazi, Hitler. They just drop enough of those and sprinkle them all around that people go, oh no, they're Hitler. Oh, but no facts, no evidence, nothing. It's pure smearing and assertion. So the documentary, this is alleged documentary, it's not documentary, it's just bullshit propaganda. He said, well, really, the German government has to do something. 25% of the population, they're about, approximately 25% of the population are voting for these people. That just shows how many Nazis are there, because anyone that votes for them must be Hitler. So the government has to take sort of drastic action to stop this, stop all these Nazis. Maybe they should just kill off 25% of the population on the basis they might or could be now. Why not do that? Well, why not? Why not? If they're Nazis, they deserve no legal rights. They don't even deserve to live. And we can replace them with, people from Africa straight away. So, what's the problem with that? Very earnest homosexual guy who's doing the jawboning, by the way, as I mentioned. Yeah, and he's reading this bullshit script. But this is they've got nothing on. If the people of Germany want to vote for the AFD or any other political party, then that's how democracy works. But the argument put forward in this and other documentaries, and also the wider globalist controlled media propaganda machine, the argument put forward is that you can vote for anyone you want, provided the deep state approves of it. If the deep state doesn't approve of it, then you're not allowed to vote for anyone else, and if you do, you're a Nazi. And so, like the people at MSNBC, for example, when Trump was elected, and indeed in the 2020 election, they asserted everyone who voted for Trump must be a Nazi. Oh, fuck. I mean, this is insane. Now, the footage and the stills, like the photographs of AFD characters, for example, if someone came on stage and waved, they would cut the wave so it looked like a Nazi salute. Then they would cut to a swastika or something like that to try and get look, Nazis, that proves it, they're Hitler. And so there was a very earnest attempt and very determined attempt to just make them look bad. Now, I don't know why these. Well, I do know why, but all I have to do is just tell it as it is, and say, look, there's masses of people coming in, from the third world, and it's untold social problems. The citizens are getting jack of it, and they're making complaints and they're demonstrating their concerns, which is their democratic right. Why isn't that stated? But no. See, these are bad people. They're not entitled to democracy. So they're Nazis. Nazis aren't entitled to this, and we have to stop the Nazis. So that's the thing there. But they particularly seem to be concerned that illegal aliens with bogus asylum claims would be repatriated. This particularly seemed to get them excited. And that they'll prove positive that Hitler's there. So these propaganda pieces are doing the rounds, but it needs to be very clear on this and understand there is not one single fact, not one that they put forward that would prove or reasonably imply or anything like that the AFD was in any way radical or anyway far right. The Green parties that advocate the most radical climate policies, why aren't they far left? Why aren't they held up as doing terrible? They're the ones that are playing a pivotal role in increasing the cost of living to all Germans for energy, electricity, and so on. Why aren't they held up as saboteurs of the German economy and the German state? Well, they're not. They're applauded as stunning and brave, while the people that oppose it or disagree with it or question it are held up as Nazis. And that's all that's going on. It's just that the AFD is not on board with the globalist project, and therefore they must be demonized. and that the first go-to that the globalists always reach for is you're a Nazi. You've been attached to today, your pushback channel, and thank you for listening.